York is what you dream about.
New York is late-night television shows.
New York is vibrant.
It's the ultimate testing ground.
The epicenter.
New York is drive.
Ambition.
Electricity.
Skyscrapers.
Theater.
New York is the arts.
New York is the music mecca of the world.
Berklee is the ultimate incubator.
Berklee is community.
Berklee is exciting.
Is energy.
Technology.
Cutting edge.
Berklee coming together with New York is going to be explosive.
Berklee in New York will be immersive.
Where it's all happening.
Where students can have experience right outside their doorstep.
Is going to be a game changer.
The Master of Arts in Creative Media and Technology at Berklee NYC will have 3 specializations. Live Experience Design, also known as LED.
Students in LED will get an amazing course in state-of-the-art video production, large LED wall installations, projection mapping, and multi-channel sound design for live events.
An integrated approach to songwriting and production.
Students in the Songwriting and Production Specialization will be immersed in the technology of beat making and music production, and will be constantly collaborating with their peers, experiencing all of the roles of the contemporary writing room, including top-lining and lyric writing.
Writing and design for musical theater.
Students will pursue an organic approach to storytelling, considering the look and feel of the worlds their characters inhabit, while taking an idea from inception to the stage. They'll also have the opportunity to record their songs in the same studios where Broadway cast albums are made.
Now is the time to reimagine your career.
When you're ready,
When you're ready,
come join us.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Power Station at Berklee NYC. I'm here this morning with a whole bunch of guests. My name is Stephen Weber. I am the Executive Director of Berklee NYC and also the Dean of Strategic Initiatives at Berklee. And I'm joined here today with our program directors, who I'm going to introduce in just a minute, and we'll also have many students and faculty for you to meet as well. And our hope is today that you can kind of get to know the programs and what we're doing here in the master's program here at Berklee NYC. We also have joining us remotely Damian Bracken, who is the Dean of Admissions, and also we have Arjun Roy, who is the Director of Education. And here very shortly we're also going to have Harley Seeger, who is the head of our Student Services and Career Center. So let's take a look at what we're doing here. Glenn, if we can kind of switch to the Prezi here. Okay, so here we are in New York City, Berklee NYC. We're at a place called the Power Station at Berklee NYC. So the Power Station is actually an amazing legacy studio that has made just tons and tons of records over the years. All of the ones that you see here on the screen, including Bruce Springsteen and Cyndi Lauper, the cast album to Hamilton, you name it. There's been so many things that have been made here, and the music clients that we've had here are also just everybody basically in music. All the major labels, a lot of indie labels. This is just a few. In terms of artists served, the list goes on and on and on. There's so many that I can't even begin to tell you how many there are. So this is just a few of them. In terms of the industry clients, we do a lot with Netflix, with Universal, with Disney, with Pixar, HBO, you name it. This is a working studio that is working on a lot of the stuff that you see when you turn on your television or listen to Spotify or listen to Tidal or whatever. In terms of theater clients, we're very close to Broadway. So this is really the place where people come to make Broadway cast albums. And we continue to do that today. And in terms of television, again, just like kind of a who's who of what goes on in that whole industry. We have an amazing community here. We've put together a staff of people who actually really like each other and work really well together. And I hope it stays that way. One of the great things about this place is just the work environment itself, and we have just amazing genius level people working here, and the environment is just really terrific. We just did a huge renovation of this space. So the Power Station Studios were started in 1977. We just did a $20 million renovation. We like to say preservation through transformation, because we are preserving these studios, but the way we're doing it really is by just absolutely transforming them. There is a lot of new capabilities that we have now, starting with integrated video. We have video throughout the facility. We have something like 26 PTZ cameras facilities wide doing 4K video. We also have a brand new black box theater, which is just incredible, with a huge LED wall and a full lighting grid, and this is just an amazing playground for students and faculty to explore. We also are getting into 360 cinematic VR, which is something you should be watching for. We're doing a lot of 360 videos and putting them out on various platforms. We have some great new facilities in terms of classrooms. We have one that we like to call the Arch, kind of named after the big window that was liberated in the renovations. And we also have a tech lab called the Lighthouse. So the facilities here are basically brand new, even though we're in this older building that also houses the room we're in right now, which is Studio A, which is just this amazing studio. So we reopened for professional clients in January. In January, we reopened the studios, and we have professional clients here every single day. We launched our graduate programs this fall in 2021. So we basically just launched our master's programs a few months ago, and we have our very first cohort. And right now, applications are open for the fall of 2022. Thus, we are here today to talk about what's going on, and hopefully some of you are looking at the program. Basically, what we have is a Master of Arts in Creative Media and Technology. We do have a program that we started with a blank sheet of paper, and I'm so thrilled that we were able to do this. It's very rare in academia that you get to start with a blank sheet of paper and design something entirely new. So we started with a blank sheet of paper, and we wanted to be as forward-looking as possible, thinking about what do students need to know now and moving forward. And we wanted to actually have just a radical reskilling. This is a year that you can take off to come and really get your skill set up, and that's basically what we're trying to do. So there are 3 specializations, and we're going to talk about all 3 of them today. We have writing and design for musical theater. We have live experience design, and we have songwriting and production. So I do want to talk about, there's a core curriculum that all 3 share that includes design thinking, and also includes business and creative entrepreneurship, and there's a lot of media and technology going through all 3 of these specializations. So we're selecting master's candidates for fall of 2022 right now. The early action deadline is November 1st. Today we're going to meet the program directors, and then we're going to meet some faculty and some current master's students. So let's get started. All right, we can cut back to live video. And like I said, I'm super honored to have with me 3 of my favorite people in the whole world who are just incredibly skilled. And I usually introduce them and embarrass them, but this time I'm going to actually ask them to introduce themselves and talk a little bit about themselves. And I'm going to start with Loudon. Loudon Stearns is the director of, program director for live experience design, and he's also our director of academic technology here for the campus as well, and does many, many, many other things. I've known about Loudon for a long time. I've been following his career. I've tried to hire him before, and this time he said yes. So Loudon, welcome, and tell everybody a bit about yourself.
So, like Steven said, I'm Loudon Stearns, and this is basically my dream job. Everything that I've done in my career has led me to exactly this point. Everything I've done has been related to music. I went to Berklee as a bass player and a composer, and On the side, I always explored technology very deeply. I'm the son of a computer programmer and explored computer programming my entire life. And then when I got outside of Berklee, the undergrad, I started combining those two things, looking at how computer programming and performing in live events could combine. And I ended up finding a ton of jobs on the side doing just that. I found that in live events, someone that could understand how a network works, someone that could understand how to create a little piece of software that would allow a bass player or a drummer to interact with the lights in the video was really needed. And I was always kind of in the right place at the right time to kind of solve that little challenge. And I think throughout my career, I've just been on just that edge of what's needed in live events. And I'm hoping that the program we create here really serves that need, because more and more we're finding that live events need that kind of person. They need a generalist that understands all the aspects of a show, so they can understand what's going on in video, what's going on in sound, what's going on stage, what's going on with the broadcast, understands all those pieces, and then really, really enjoys how they interact. And that's so much of what we're exploring throughout our entire curriculum in live experience design. And so this brought me here. All my passions lead me right here, and my other passion is education. I've been a professor at the Berklee College in Boston for 15 years, and I've loved doing that. And I always taught electronic music, and I taught composition there, but I had this second job running the stages and running stage crews and teaching students how to do live sound and how to do live video. And I finally get to make that the curriculum here. And it's really exciting to be able to start this fresh and be able to take my passions and turn them into a program. And I'm absolutely loving the first 6 weeks that we've had here together.
Thanks. Yeah, Loudon has been just absolutely amazing. I mean, I knew he was amazing. Everybody I talked to about Loudon, just is singing his praises. And now I can't even imagine being here without him. So it's great to have you here. Next, let me introduce a multi-award-winning writer for theater and musical theater. She's got a play going up right now. In fact, she's doing just a masterful job of running this program, and then at night going over to rehearsals and all that. And that is the director. The program director for writing and design for musical theater, Julianne Wick-Davis. Julianne, tell us a little bit about yourself, if you would.
Yeah, I first of all, just so excited to be here and talk about this program and the amazing things that are happening here. But just to talk about my journey here, I actually started out as a piano performance major. And the thing that I learned about that is that I hated the isolation of being a piano performance major. And I realized the thing for me was collaborating was the thing that brought me the most joy. So my path kind of went through education, was teaching music education in public schools for a while, until I realized that everything that I was doing was always about musical theater. I was writing shows for my students to perform, and decided that maybe it was time for me to really focus on that. So I came to New York City to do that, studied writing musical theater, and began the process of finding collaborators and writing shows and going through that process of development, and have been very fortunate to have some productions of Southern Comfort at the Public Theater. I have had some things at the National Alliance for Musical Theater, that conference, a show called Lautrec at the St. James, and Willard Suitcases, which had a production at American Shakespeare Theater a couple of years ago. And then currently, as Stephen mentioned, I am in, just started tech yesterday for Trevor, which is opening off Broadway in November. So all of that has, just kept me involved in the theater industry, but at the same time, I have been really passionate about helping others tell their stories and how to do that with words and music. And so I was at NYU teaching there for a while, and then had this opportunity and a conversation with Stephen about what was happening here at Berklee NYC. And I was so excited to hear how the outlook about trying to find new ways of doing this thing called musical theater, and really looking at exciting ways to break out of the normal form of it, and you know, still honoring the traditions of musical theater, but looking at how we can present it and actually ways that we can approach it. And I'll talk more about that when I get specifically about the program, but I'm just excited to be here, excited to be with these amazing people who have already become wonderful collaborators in so many different ways. And so, yeah, excited to talk to you more about the program.
Yeah, thank you so much, Julianne. And again, we're so excited to have Julianne here. She was at NYU. You were actually at NYU for 14 years, something like that. You said a few years.
Yeah,
it was a little while. We were, you know, when I heard about her, and I thought, oh my gosh, she would just be amazing if we could coax her over here. And I'm so glad that we were able to coax you to come and lead this program. I also now want to introduce our Associate Program Director for Songwriting and Production. And this is, you know, I know I keep saying this about everyone, but it's true about all of them. Marilee James. Marilee is just an incredible songwriter, an incredible technologist, and an incredible educator. I mean, I just can't say enough. She's just an 11 out of 10 on all three of those fronts, and we couldn't be more thrilled and honored to have her here as Associate Program Director for Songwriting and Production. And if you would, tell everybody a bit about yourself.
Thank you, Stephen. Hi, everyone. I'm Marilee James, and I will echo the sentiments of my colleagues that I am just so thrilled to be here. This is also a total dream job for me because of just how excited I am about our curriculum and our students, and it just feels like I'm walking into this palpable magic every day when I come in to teach. So a little bit about how I came to be sitting in this chair. I was a pianist and songwriter and vocalist all my life. Studied with the Jimi Hendrix Experience in Seattle, and came to New York and worked with the Harlem Speakeasy Orchestra, and was always writing. And in my kind of late teens, early 20s, I was writing these songs I was really excited about, and then sort of handing them off to someone else to produce. And I was always finding it wasn't really getting me the results I wanted, and I wasn't able to have the really juicy experience of creating that I was looking for. And so I dove into now a decades-long passion of production and music technology, and I found that this completely changed my life. I also did go to undergrad at Berklee College of Music, and have since, before coming here, taught up in Boston. With me and Loudon were like passing ships, sometimes seeing each other, and developed a lot of new curriculum up there to bring more current musical practices into the curriculum. And so when I came here and saw this curriculum, I was like just totally excited, and I'm just thrilled that we're reflecting the practices that are going on right outside the door, in arena shows, in the productions that are taking place in this very room. And I'm really committed to honoring the creative experience of each one of our students, and working together in a very collaborative way in the classroom. And we've seen, like, just in these 6 weeks, that the content that has come out of these classes has just been immense and inspiring. So looking forward to talking more about the ins and outs of our specific program, and good to be here.
That's great. Awesome. Well, what we're going to do next is we're going to have a little bit of time with each program, and we'll spend some time with the program director and some students, and in some cases some faculty, and talk more about the program itself. And then at the end, we're going to bring everybody together, and we're also going to add in Damian Bracken, who is the Dean of Admissions at Berklee College of Music, who is the man who knows everything about admissions, and he's been at Berklee for a long, long time, and has been responsible for just so many amazing things happening at Berklee. We'll also have Harley Seeger join us, who is our head of Student Services and Career Center, and Arjun Roy, our Director of Education. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to talk about the specialization of writing and design for musical theater. We'll start with a short video, and then we will be changing our arrangement here to have members of that program join us. So Glenn, if you would, take it away with the video.
Writing and design for musical theater takes a new approach to what it means to tell stories.
We are looking for students who are excited and passionate about the stories that they want to tell.
It's an incredible place to grow your own identity as an art maker and be challenged by people who are doing the work and bringing expertise to the training.
The students have access to the knowledge of the inner workings of shows right now.
The culture surrounding Broadway is really changing, and the faculty that we have here is part of that cutting edge.
It's an opportunity for us to do a deeper dive into how it gets from the spark of creation to a Broadway stage.
The main thing that attracted me to the program was the focus on innovation that involved technology.
Learning about using LED walls to use sound.
The most cutting-edge performance and recording studio spaces.
The environment here has made it really fun to learn and given me a lot of confidence.
The best things are the collaborations.
I came here to be a well-rounded theater collaborator, and I was able to learn how to set up shows.
You're creating with a cohort that are diverse, that are ambitious, and that are really talented.
Students can have experience right outside their doorstep.
Being in such close proximity to Broadway, we have the industry professionals come and share with us what is happening in the industry right now.
What's so beautiful about theater is it's the industry of changing minds. It's the industry of changing heart.
Things that challenge the way you see the world is why coming to Berklee NYC is one of the best choices I could have made.
The students that are going to come out of this program are at the forefront of the change in musical theater.
And they're going to leave with really incredible connections and relationships that will stick with them for the rest of their careers.
Being able to take your work out into the world and share it with everyone, this is the perfect place to do that.
Welcome back, everybody. So we are going to talk a little bit more in detail about the program Writing Design for Musical Theater. And we have a couple of students that are here to also talk about their experience and a little bit about their background and why they decided to choose Berklee NYC. But before that, we're going to talk just a little bit about the students that should be thinking about this program. And as a storyteller, I decided to approach this from the who, what, and why. And so let's first look at who should be applying to writing and design for musical theater. The most important thing is passionate storytellers. And that is anybody who has a story that they are compelled to tell through words and music. We're also looking for composers, lyricists, and librettists. And that could be you are all three of those things. That could be that you are one of those things or any combination of those three things. We're also looking for storytellers interested in pushing the boundaries of the form. Even though we are learning about the canon, we are looking at ways to change how stories are told, change the way that the form is being presented on stage. We're also looking for collaborators. And even if you are not interested in collaborating with the work that you are doing yourself and the story that you want to tell, you will be learning how to collaborate with people in design, learning to collaborate with other people that can help bring your vision to life in your stories. I think one of the most important things about who should apply is that people shouldn't think that they have to have some experience in musical theater. We have people from all kinds of backgrounds that are coming into this program, all kinds of experiences. Some people went to conservatory and are composers, but they've never really tried to write anything in a musical theater style. There are others who are singer-songwriters and really know how to tell compelling stories in song, but have never thought about what it means to tell that in a larger sense and on stage. So we're not looking for those people who are necessarily already feeling like they're immersed in musical theater. We would love to be able to expand upon that, especially when we're really looking at how we can change the form and push the boundaries of the form. So we're really excited to have anybody who is just passionate about telling stories with words and music. Here's the what you will experience, and these are just a few things that you will be experiencing. Developing your skills in the craft of writing music, lyrics, and book. Developing your own artistic voice, which I think is one of the most important things that we do here, is to help you find your voice. We're not interested in recreating things that already exist. We would really love to find your specific voice. We want you to sound like you. You can learn everything and then put it through this funnel, and all of a sudden you have found your own creative voice that is inspired by the work that has come before you. Collaborating with fellow writers and designers, that is something that will happen throughout the program. Telling stories in new ways with leading technology. Already our students are finding collaborations with students in other concentrations and specializations who are leading the stories with the new technology that's available. And our students are learning how to use it, as well as learning from the inspiration that others have by seeing their work and what that means for their particular skills. You'll learn about the business of the theater industry, which is so important for you all to come out of this program and be proactive about your own careers. We have a terrific group of producers, Erica Rothstein, Rachel Sussman, and Heather Shields, who are really teaching the students about this business of theater and what that means for them when they come out of this program, and how to have the knowledge and the skills to be able to take charge of your own career. You'll learn to, as I said, learn to be proactive in your own career in so many different ways, in addition to what you'll learn in the business side, but also in just the collaborations that you're going to be making. And that's what I talk about, the finding the lifelong collaborators. The people that you will be in these halls with are the people that you will be working with for the rest of your career. The why. Why should you apply? Well, we are at the forefront of the change of the industry. I'm sure all of you are aware of what has been happening in theater ever since the pandemic, and there was a real way of turning the mirror on itself in the theater industry and examining what we need to do to move forward and be better in the theater industry. And that includes how stories are being told, how work is being developed. And we're really working at the forefront of the change in that, in the future of the theater. Berklee NYC is in the heart of the theater district. So we are amongst not only the energy of theater, but we are around all of these people that are working in the industry right now. And I think one of the most important things about the why is the community of artists that we have here. I have been in several communities of artists in the past, and I have to say that there's something incredibly special about this collection of artists and what this space and what the people that have put together this program have created for these artists. that I think is extraordinary. It's a singular thing, and it is something that will make for an incredible year of creating. So talking about some of those people in the community of artists, I'd like to introduce two current students who are here and have them just talk a little bit about themselves and their experience so far. So let's start with Mason Emmert.
Hi, I'm Mason. I WDMT, obviously, at Berklee NYC, and I actually was, I don't know how much intro we should go into now, but I actually was thinking primarily about music direction, and writing was always sort of a passion that I hadn't really gotten to pursue, but the sort of hands-on experience that you get here in classes with these weekly Friday concerts, it's just, you know, I knew I would be sort of missing something if I wasn't here, and I really have felt that community. I mean, every person that we're in class with is somebody that I either have made something that I love with or would love to do that in the future. So,
what's one of your favorite things that has happened so far in this semester?
Well, I really can't speak highly enough about our Songwriting for Musical Theater class. Every week is a different challenge, a different prompt, a different genre. We're constantly looking outside of musical theater, talking about our favorite hooks or grooves or whatever that we can sort of pull in and use in our own work. And that has just been amazing for me as someone who was not previously much of a lyricist, to really get to explore that and to get to dive into something that I previously wasn't as confident in. That those experiences have just been amazing. Just yesterday we had a couple of really incredible singers come in to sing our work and have them sort of bring it to life, and that was that was really amazing.
And I love that you brought up the idea of, talking about current work and not necessarily thinking like this is what musical theater should sound like. Yeah. And I think that's part of what we keep talking about. Like, we're not wanting to recreate what's already happened, but really the purpose of the things that we're doing right now is to find a way to break out of that and change what everybody thinks is that musical theater sound. Absolutely. And sometimes we have to keep reminding ourselves of that too. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think back to our summer reading list, which was 8 musicals, and I think one of them was written before 2000. I could be wrong about that, but it's very much not looking to the canon for inspiration, but just to know where we're coming from, and then we forge our own path from there.
Yeah, great. Brandon, talk a little bit about your background and what brought you to Berklee.
Sure. So yeah, my name is Brandon. I have a background actually in musical theater. I was a musical theater performer for the last, 20 years, if you count my childhood. I've always been doing theater and performing, and I got a BFA in musical theater performance. And I've mostly been finding work as a pianist, actor, musician. And, that work is really exciting and fun, but it's often it's not as creative as something like writing. So COVID plus time gave me the opportunity to write, and it has been wonderful. And I was looking at different grad programs, and none of them really had what I was looking for. I was also really interested in audio production and kind of really the future of musical theater and just performing, and everything that I wanted to do existed here. And I thought it was, a scam or like just some kind of like fake banner ad. Too good to be true, because it was, in a studio space where you have infinite resources as far as technology goes, and in New York in Hell's Kitchen, which I've lived here for 4 years, and it's one of my favorite neighborhoods in New York City. And it is, I live 5 minutes away from Hamilton on Broadway, which is just so cool. Like, to just be, oh yeah, it's right down the street. I can literally walk there. So yeah, it was a lot of those things that kind of led me here, is just so many check boxes for me in my life at this time of I'm ready to change, I'm ready to push myself and grow as an artist. And that is just constantly being challenged and cultivated here. With every class we take, it's always something different being thrown at you that is, just really exciting and interesting. Yeah.
And I think you also can't understate the Berklee of it all. I mean, to have that community right here in New York City, also in the heart of the theater district, between those two things, there's yeah, it's that was definitely a huge part of it for me as well, is just knowing you'll be surrounded by so many amazing creative people.
Great.
It's definitely the best part for me. I mean, the community that you were talking about, it's incredible.
Brandon, can you speak to like one of your favorite memories or moments from these last 6 weeks that we've had together?
There's been a lot. I can't even emphasize the amount of things that have happened for us, and the amount of performance opportunities, but also very important discussions that are happening that kind of propel you as an artist. I'm in an elective called Device Theater right now, and it's really the work that's being done in there. I never really anticipated myself kind of going down that route, and there's been a lot of really key moments for that. Just setting up the class for that, which is something really fun. I got to program music and lights and basically create the space for the class using that black box theater that's in the facility. And I didn't think I'd be able to really do that in a writing program, but it's highly encouraged to really stretch yourself. So that was, and watching everybody come in and explore the space and play with MIDI controller live that's affecting things around you. That was really special for me, and I wasn't anticipating that. So it's lots of moments like that you're not anticipating. That it's like, oh, how cool! And the collaboration with the other programs, the LED and the songwriting production, that can make those things happen.
Which you all have already been able to do with several projects that you're working on right now. So
yeah, we are right in the middle of a collaboration with songwriting and production students, taking songs that we had written for that Songwriting for Musical Theater class and turning them into radio edits, which is just such a fun, such an amazing way to apply that theater music and turn it on its head and think about it in a different way.
Yeah, and being encouraged to do that in our personal lives. After this, I have a performance. They do a concert series here, and it's an LED student's work for their class that they wanted musicians for, and I'm one of those musicians, and I get to kind of work in a different space because they're thinking about lights and interactive things with Resolume. I was like, well, how can we use that with Ableton? So like that's been really fun for me to figure out, and that's just a collaboration that you're never expecting. So yeah,
that's so great. Yeah. Go ahead.
I think there's a version of a writing program that uses a lot of Finale and Microsoft Word, and the creative media and technology degree really pushes you to apply those things and to sort of think outside the box, which is, it's amazing.
That's terrific. Thank you both so much for talking about your experience, and we hope that you will consider the Writing and Design for Musical Theater. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you more about it. And I think now we're going to move on to our next specialization. We'll be talking about live experience design, the LED specialization. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Live Experience Design Specialization prepares students to operate, design, and innovate immersive live events, including concerts, commercial theater, sports, corporate events, broadcast television, interactive installations, and much more. Here at Berklee NYC, we have the facilities and educational experience necessary to prepare the technician artist to work at this critical intersection of artistic expression and technical innovation. Our main areas of technical focus are sound, lights, screens, cameras, and interactive performance control. Each of these technical areas has important tools, protocols, and careers that our comprehensive curriculum explores in depth by producing real events with real professionals in a real venue. From the first day of the program, we will be exploring the interconnections between these systems, which is exactly where innovation in live experience production is happening today. Because no matter what type of event, a network of interconnected technologies surrounds the artist and immerses the audience to amplify the stories and inspire the audience's imagination.
There are about 4 phases to this process: design ideation, technical development, pre-visualization, and implementation. So the process from start to finish, always unique, always different depending on the show, and the pursuit of what is great often takes unexpected turns, and where you started is not always where you end. What's really most rewarding is the process.
Technology allows me to create a world that in a sense doesn't exist, and I use it to express my thinking, my art, my feelings, and to connect with people.
Technicians, operators are artists. That's why I'm sincerely thrilled that Berklee
is taking on this program and bringing it to New York City because we're going to see a new kind of theater that wasn't possible before.
Every artist, every technician, every creative individual is an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur takes risks. There's a blank canvas when you get on stage. And then we create sound, and we create light, and we create an emotional experience, and we touch people. How do you take your creativity, your desire to take that risk, and how do you mold that into someone who's business savvy? And I'm really excited for the next generation because I think they're gonna just blow our mind.
For the artist hoping to expand their production skills and build a business around their brand, the Live Experience Design program offers the perfect place to build your network and hone your skills. Come join us at Berklee NYC.
Back. So this is, I'm Loudon Stearns again. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Live Experience Design program. And I brought some of my new favorite people along with me. On the end here, we have Joey Morrow, who is a professor, is teaching us live lighting and projection, doing an amazing work and doing some amazing things professionally. We have James Petrine, who is one of our students, which we'll talk to in a bit. We have Fernando, another amazing student that we'll talk to in a bit, a fellow bass player, which is a good thing. But before we chat with them, I'd like to talk a little bit about the program and what we're trying to achieve here and get a little more in depth in case you're considering this program. Maybe get some questions answered here and then be thinking about what questions you might want to ask in the future. So let's switch over to the my presentation here. And you know, the Live Experience Design program, one of the challenges about this is we are defining a new career. We're kind of figuring out what this is because the industry itself is changing. And so if we have a guiding principle, it's that we're passionate about the artistry and technology of live events, and we're preparing our artist technicians for careers in the technology of live events. But that makes it sound very technical. Fundamentally, Berklee is an art school, and so the art side of this is very important, and we really weave a balance between art and technology and keep technology in service of telling amazing stories. And so if I have a fundamental concept to this whole program is that we are a family of artist technicians that are producing live events together, and all of our curriculum and all of our focus is going toward creating events and learning in the process of creating them. People that will really succeed well here and do well in this program have a deep skill in some aspect and are wanting to expand on that and apply it to live events. And we're looking for students that are talented and diverse and intelligent and creative and curious and supportive of each other. And they should have one deep skill that they bring to the program. We don't expect everyone to know everything, and we really want to create a team here. So some great kind of entering skills might be sound design, lighting design, a filmmaker, computer programmer, someone that knows networking. All those are really, really valuable skills in the industry now, and they're going to be really great valuable skills to bring to the program here. Our goal is to transform whatever passion we have into a successful career in the music industry, and we really are building a team that's learning from each other the whole time. We're applying all these skills toward a variety of different types of live experiences. The three that I think are most important are going to be theater, concerts, and installations. But really these set of skills, this kind of constellation of skills that are useful in all those, get applied in a wide variety of other types of events. Sports, museums, retail, corporate events, all these require the same exact set of skills, working with sound, projectors, lighting, etc. And we're really looking at how we can apply these skills in a wide variety of different events. What we're really looking at is contemporary integrated live experiences. Experiences that include automated lighting, include multi-screen visual, include multi-channel audio, include broadcasts, so multiple audiences, and also give the performers themselves the ability to control those systems and integrate those systems heavily. It's not uncommon for the performer on stage to strike a drum, for that drum to trigger lighting, for that drum also to trigger a video crew, and then for the broadcast team to know what exactly to be focusing on in that moment. In fact, we're only at week 5 of this program, and already the performers, the students in this program, are making those kind of integrated experiences already. And so the technology comes fast, and now over the year we get to really learn how to use that to tell amazing stories and lead to a beautiful culminating experience, a thesis project. Our curriculum, I like to think of it as kind of a career and fast forward. Right away, we're going to take what we're already amazing at. Maybe I showed up as an animator. I showed up with some sound design experience. And I'll learn how to expand that into being a performer and put on some shows with that. But at the same time, I'm learning to operate all the systems in a live event. So the trick is we have to know how to run all these consoles. We have to know how all these different aspects interact so that we can design experiences that use them all, and we can communicate with all the people on the stage with empathy and know what their experience is, so we can really create amazing experiences. And so in this first semester, we're expanding out what we already know and learning how all the systems work, and we're looking at how we can build a career in this. In the second semester, in our spring semester, we're kind of moving toward taking those skills and now designing our own experiences. And this is all in service of leading to one big culminating experience, which will happen over the summer. And this is going to be a major calling card that I can take into the industry, show I ran this thing that includes all these different systems. I made this amazing experience, and now I can take that and do it for you. And not just that, I found my passion. I might have come in here as an animator, but realized lighting is really amazing, and I can work around that, and I can find a career doing that right now. And the great thing is, live experiences, these kind of jobs, these technical artist / jobs, it's booming. Tours are doing great, and there's a constant need for generalists that can find their place and just fix the problem, which is so much of what we're doing. So here's some details about the program that I just laid out here, and I'll just read them off so we just get some of the facts in place. The Live Experience Design Specialization is an intensive, full-time, 1-year graduate program that prepares students for careers in the design, operation, and business of producing immersive and integrated live events. We want to give students a broad understanding of technical event production through real-world experiences. We're always putting on shows. In fact, I'm pulling all 3 of these great people away from a show that we're producing in the theater right now, which is a little bit of a challenge. But it also points out how amazing this building is, and that we can have a really immersive, integrated live experience in the basement and be putting on this pretty intense live stream right now. So this will be available to us all, and you can always find this information out. So I'd like to take a moment now to chat with some of these amazing people I have right here. Joey, it's great to have you here today.
Great to be here.
What classes are you teaching right now?
So I'm teaching 2 classes right now. I'm co-teaching a digital lighting class that you're helping me with. In which it's part of a production class, in which students are learning everything about the lighting systems in the room and everything about light as a concept, and bringing those 2 things together. So it's not just you push a button and a light comes on, although we're getting to plenty of buttons, but figuring out why, and what does that light mean, and what does it mean for the story you're trying to tell.
Amazing. Joey, what brought you here? What are you doing professionally, and what are you hoping to impart on the students from that experience?
Yeah, I heard about the program from a friend of a friend, and I said, wait a minute, this is something new, this is something entirely different, and something the industry really needs right now. And I just want to take a second to say I'm so excited to be here, not just because of the program and the work we're doing, but when I got here, I found this group of people that were incredibly passionate and worked incredibly hard about what we're doing. And that's from the faculty, the staff, the students, and that right there is reason enough to come, because there's nothing quite like working in an environment where people are just going through the motions, and this is not that. This is an environment where everyone cares incredibly about what they're doing, and they're pushing the envelope of what it can be. What was the original question I was supposed to be answering?
What are you doing professionally? So what's
what am I
outside
doing
that you're bringing into this program?
Well, I've got to get back to Theater 555 in about 20 minutes and go fix a video system that I built and engineered myself. It's a watch out live production system, and that's installing right now-ish. I feel my phone buzzing. Many people have questions, and we're going to make that work for that show. I'm working on some live corporate events right now where they're trying to figure out exactly what to do with about a week to go. And so that's the sort of thing we're covering in my 3D design and rendering drafting class, which is a special area that I care about, which is how do you show a client, how do you show your colleagues and your collaborators what something is really going to look like? Because we have so much technology and so many ways to do things, it's hard to really express what that could be so that you can get approval, so that you can collaborate, and so that you can really create something. So that class is very much about drafting, creating, visualizing, previs, and that's what I'm doing at this moment professionally, trying to figure out with a major company what exactly their event is going to look like.
Amazing. Thank you so much. One of the things I've loved taking a part in Joey's classes is there's always a real thing that's happened basically that day that he's solving, and numerous times, you know, I would always say it's not good for a teacher to take a call in the middle of class, but on breaks, he's taken a call, solved something in front of the entire class, and we're like cheering along as he fixes a projector in Brooklyn, and he always ties it into this and makes an amazing lesson out of it. So really bringing in this real world experience. And Joey, if you have to go, it's okay.
No, I'm good. I have a few more minutes. It's fine. This is important.
Fantastic, fantastic. So James, can you tell us a little bit about, you know, what you were doing before you got here and what you've been doing in the program now?
Yeah, absolutely. I come from really a more event management side of things, so less the technical side originally. You know, everything from artist relations to customer-based stuff, ticketing, and really running venues and festivals from maybe a lot more what the audience sees and things like that. So that's exactly what drew me to this program was I know my trajectory that I'm hoping to achieve is to be producing these scale of events myself, and I want to know all sides of the world that makes these things happen. So learning this technical side, understanding what's happening with all the lights and the sound and the video and all that, that's really what drew me here.
Amazing. So we're only in week 5 now. Would you be able to tell us a little bit about what your first big performance was in the last week?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just a week ago, I had a performance, which I do not consider myself a performer. And like I just said, I came into this program not having a huge knowledge of the specifics of technology, of how they work. I'd been around a lot of live experiences, so that's, you know, where my knowledge base came from, was seeing so much performances over the years. But yeah, I was very worried when you told us at the beginning of this school year that I would be performing within a number of weeks. But it has been, that by far has been the coolest experience so far in the program for sure. I ended up doing a complete audio visual show where I edited video together, I edited sound together. I actually controlled lights in the theater via MIDI, via Ableton, and, you know, using about 4 programs that I had never really opened before this summer. So I can definitely say the pace of how quickly I am creating things and actually being able to show things, you know, that happens so much faster than I ever expected, which has been really cool.
He says he's an event producer. However, a brilliant storyteller, we found out already 4 weeks, 5 weeks in, is doing some amazing design work in all the classes too. So really, you can come in as one thing, and that's, as you said, learning all the different pieces and getting to put it together in a unique way.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to add to that, I feel like I've, you know, like I said, I came in with the intention of just learning the technical side so that I could be a full-rounded producer, but I'm already finding myself drawn to certain things.
I'm an artist now.
I've really enjoyed learning the lighting board and doing things with that, and, you know, keeping options open. Who knows what direction I'll actually take after this. So
amazing. It's so great to have you here, James. I've really loved working with you. Yeah, it's great. So Fernando, can you answer something similar, like what your background is? I think one of the challenges with this program is really expressing what it is and who would be really really great for it. And so I'm just curious what your experience was before and what you've been kind of getting from the program here.
I am a bass player. I've been playing bass for a while now. I also I've been producing music recently, and for me, I felt the necessity to better serve the artists that I was working with. I felt like the music production and mixing and recording is great, but it wasn't giving me the full, how can I say, it wasn't the full picture of producing an artist. So I felt like what the program is offering it was exactly a way to expand and way to fully produce someone, fully produce a concert, fully produce a artist, and fully produce a show. So yeah, so I was looking for expand my skills and be more helpful for people and be a better collaborator.
Amazing. That's bass players. We're the support system. And I think I had a similar journey. I always loved that idea of like being a little bit in the background and helping and serving a greater good. And I feel like we're on a kind of similar journey. What projects have you been working on here? What have you made here that maybe follows that path?
I came here to challenge myself. So I was called to participate in the open mic, which is happening today in a few minutes. And I was thinking about what can I do? What can I show to people? How can I challenge myself? And so I did. I produced a interactive visual performance in Touch Designer, which is something that I've never really worked on before. Like I said, I come from a music playing band background, so I'm excited to see what folks are gonna say about and how they're gonna feel watching what I created today in a minute.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Fernando. And what I really loved in the end of that was Fernando says he's really excited to see what the audience is going to do. And we had this huge focus on making sure that what we do has an audience, and we're building that the whole time. So thank you for listening to a little bit about live experience design. And if you're curious about it, we're here, and I'd love to have you on board. Thank you so much. And we're going to now talk to Berklee and Songwriting and Production and some of the students there.
You often encounter inspiration in unsuspecting fleeting moments. But what happens when you develop the tools to turn ideas into anthems? As a creator, you learn there's a sweet balance between the days when the music just seems to flow and the times when technique, discipline, and pure dedication is what's needed to turn a spark into a flame. A safe space to be vulnerable and free-flowing with ideas is crucial to the process of deciding exactly what we'll share with our audience. And the work we put in between the point of conception and the moment of release is only made stronger by our dedication to the study and understanding of the craft. That's why as an artist, I always want to keep pushing the boundaries. I always want to keep challenging what's considered normal. And most of all, I always want to keep learning.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Once again, I'm Berklee James, Associate Director in Songwriting and Production, joined with some of my absolute favorite humans. This is Roz, who is just an incredible musician. These are both students, I should say, but I feel like they're my colleagues. And Arturo, who is wearing probably the coolest shoes I've ever seen. Let's see if we can get those on screen. Yep. So we'll be talking to these guys in a moment, but I'd like to break down the specifics of the songwriting and production program just a bit more. If we can get that Prezi happening, that would be fantastic. This is a program that is really built to take songwriters and producers, some coming in much more as songwriters, some coming in, maybe they haven't even written lyrics, but they're really, really strong producers, and putting that all together so they can be really unstoppable when they leave here. So songwriting and production at its core, we're exploring an integrated approach to the creation of popular music and a thorough examination of current practices. You notice I keep saying current in the collaborative technologically aided journey of songwriting and production. I'd like to talk a bit about our 3 core classes. So when you're here, it's kind of day to day, you've got 2 classes that the entire cohort is involved in, and then you've got several really, really cool electives. We as S&P, we have 3 core classes. So one of them, and this is something everyone takes, so one of them is DNA styles, and I love this class so much. This is all about recreating Billboard Hot 100 songs that are playing on the radio right now, and from the bottom up, we're figuring out what did they do, starting with the drums. How do we get that exact bass sample? What can we do with the EQ to mold it to sound even more like it? And then how can we put it in the mix of the whole thing and building up from there? How are you guys feeling about DNA? It's a tough one, right?
Challenging. It's definitely challenging. It's definitely challenging, but it's a lot of fun because you're learning. Oh my goodness, that's what they did. That's a bass there. Oh, that's a kick, you know? And me coming in as someone who is not necessarily produced in that way before, I'm like, oh, so I need to learn how bass and kicks syncopate together.
Well, and can I just say, Roz, from the very cool stuff you were doing week 1, but now week 6, I'm like, whoa, Roz is just killing it. And, you know, I think it's necessary to say about this class, it's not so that we can then go copy every song that's on the radio. So first we imitate, then we emulate by using some of those techniques in your original songs, and then we innovate. So we need to know what is competitive right now and how do we compete with that, but then we take it even further and innovate it into your own music. All right, integrated songwriting techniques. This is another really fun class. We are examining in a very, very advanced and intensive way what makes a well-crafted song. And we talk about it in a diverse way because there's many different ways of writing songs that are incredibly useful and effective. So if you don't have a good song, it's kind of hard to produce that song. So we're trying to make sure we are building our foundation. Arturo, what has been some of your experience in the integrated songwriting?
This is definitely my favorite class because the song is what starts the DNA. You know, it's the first strand of the DNA, and in that song, it has its own DNA of its own. So exploring everything that you can do in all the superpowers you can get lyric-wise, melody-wise, rhythm-wise, to make the first strand of DNA is just like so interesting for me, and it always has, and I wish I can do that for the rest of my life, and I think it's going to be like that.
Is there one, and it's okay if you can't think of it on the spot, but is there one sort of moment or thing you learned in the class and you applied it to a song and you're like, that really worked or that really helped?
Yes, definitely. Like, I really like to know other people's styles because everybody has their own way to do their conjuring, because for me this part is the conjuring of magicians. No, so we are learning how other people do their spells, and then you can make new spells and you make spells together.
Can I get that on a t-shirt? I love that. New spells, and then we make spells together. Love it. Thank you. Our next core class, or our third core class, is electronic production for songwriters, where we are using Ableton as a vehicle to discuss innovative, creative production techniques. And this is a class where students are invited to make their own original songs from the very ground up. We explore some of the advanced functions within Ableton Live. And it's really, really cool to see what we've been creating in this class. So this very much marries the songwriting and the production all coming together so that students can truly be the experts, the authorities on their creative vision, and get it to where they want it to be. Any thoughts on the electronic production class, Roz?
Yeah. Honestly, this is one of my favorite classes.
I happen to teach you, no big
this
deal.
This is my professor, yeah. But the reason why it's one of my favorite classes is because I'm coming in with a stronger authority on songwriting and zero authority on production.
I wouldn't say zero.
Well, and it just, as I'm seeing already, I feel empowered by this class because one of our main things is to build a beat from the ground up. And so I'm able to think through the songs that I already have in my catalog, and I've seen how I'm able to bring it up to a place of, okay, I have this song, I have a reference track for it, and using the knowledge that we're gaining in DNA of Styles, how do I use the tools, the actual tools from Ableton to begin to build the bass, build the kick, and then add the snares. And so all these things that are newer concepts to me, I'm finding it's easy to naturally apply them because that's what we're learning to do in this class.
Great. And I think this is a good time to say, echoing what Julianne was saying earlier, that we really are looking for passionate musicians, storytellers. You do not have to know every single DAW and every single production technique that exists. However, if you do, there is a place for you here, certainly. But this is really a place to fill in your skill set so that you can go out and really be competitive. Collaboration is a huge part of this program. It's already on the forefront of songwriting in the world, and it's very important to us that we are pushing that here at Berklee. One wonderful memory I had is in our orientation. We gave everyone 10 minutes to write a song. And I think I can still remember yours, Roz. It's a beautiful moment.
I feel it shifting for me.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful, oh my gosh, now I'm singing it.
Let's go.
It's a beautiful moment. I feel it shifting for me.
Let's go.
It's a beautiful moment. I feel it shifting for me.
That's a good hook if I can remember that 6 weeks later. But what we had these people that had just met each other coming up and performing these songs. I'm now teaching an ensemble where 3 of the folks who had written a song, they developed that into a whole, fleshed out production, and now we're performing it. And so it's just, you can't put a, more emphasis on the magic that can be created from collaboration and the fact that we are selecting some of the greatest artists in the world. You're coming in and just being able to, sky's the limit with that. I'd like to briefly tell you a bit about our faculty, our wonderful program director, Will Wells. Here are just a few of his immense credits. He's just totally killing it. He's here teaching one day and then doing the late night show and Hollywood Bowl. Say again?
On Broadway.
And on Broadway, he's just, I don't know if he ever sleeps, but we are so lucky. I have it on good authority he doesn't. Rachel Alina, just an incredible mix engineer. You can see some of her credits here, and also wonderful production teacher. Billy Seidman just knows songcraft in and out. He can talk about it with great creativity in his sleep. You can see some of his great credits here, and he's been spearheading our integrated songwriting class. Thavius Beck, wonderful, just lives and breathes a production, electronic techniques, and he's collaborated, remixed with some incredible artists. All right, so before I get to why you should apply, I'd love to just hear a little bit, because you are the superstars here. Arturo, could you just give us a bit of a sense of where you came, what led you here, and what your experience has been so far?
Well, I came here because I was escaping my previous life, and I feel that I just got born again, and I was received with wide open arms, and I'm very thankful.
We love you, Arturo. It's been your presence on campus has been really meaningful. How about you, Roz?
I want to hold his hand.
Yeah, now we're all crying.
And I really resonate with Arturo. For me, I came to this program because over the last 10 years, I've been strengthening my songwriting, but I've always had a desire to produce. There's something inside of me that says, you can do it, you can do it. I'm a little too scared to do it, So coming to this program for me was a mix between I want to be healthily challenged to produce, and also I know I need mentors to get to the next level. I think anyone in life who's done anything groundbreaking has been preceded by mentors, And one thing in doing research about Berklee, I keep hearing, still to this day, you keep hearing about the Berklee community. And I resonate with what Arturo was saying, like you're just welcomed in, and even connecting with several professors, including yourself. You guys really want to see us win, And so that is amazing to me to see that the desire that I had for this mentorship, it's already being met from day one, so.
Oh, thank you guys so much for sharing that. And that's something I love about this community too, that it's not the type of thing where you clock in and clock out. I see both professors and students, till 9, 10 o'clock in the night, solving problems, collaborating, helping get to the next level of that song you're working on. And it's a real honor for me to get to be a part of it. So what will you learn? Why should you apply if this is something that you are interested in? So we're employing writing and production and collaborative techniques applicable to a wide variety of fields. We're analyzing and understanding the development of current trends. There I go, saying current again, across a variety of musical styles. Developing that technical facility across necessary songwriting and production software and hardware as applied to current creative workflows, accelerating growth through constant performance opportunities, our Friday performance opportunities, which both these students have totally blown us away at, generating artistic content at a high level of technical proficiency, and an objectively professional standard. We're coming out to compete with the best here. And leading with a spirit of creative entrepreneurship to sustain a career in the arts that's adaptable, ethically sound, and creates change. So we'd love to hear more questions as you think of them. And we'd like to open this up. And with thanks to Roz and Arturo again, we'd like to meet some more members of the team and get some questions. Thanks again.
What does it mean to capture the magic of a live musical performance today? The vision, nuance, and emotion. In 1977, Power Station Studios in New York redefined what it meant to capture that magic with otherworldly temples of sound featuring unprecedented acoustics, sightlines, and technology. Today, Power Station at Berklee NYC returns to the vanguard as the world's first fully integrated studios, combining analog and digital audio excellence with cinematic visual artistry, providing visionary artists with an expanded toolkit that includes unobtrusive multi-camera capture, instant high-end live streaming and broadcast, and 360 cinematic virtual reality with immersive audio. All served up with the amenities and privacy clients expect from one of the world's premier recording destinations. Power Station at Berklee NYC. Preservation through transformation.
Welcome back. We have everybody assembled now. And that was obviously a little video about the reopening of the studios that we're all inhabiting right here. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to introduce Damian Bracken, who is our Dean of Admissions at Berklee. He's been at Berklee even longer than I have. He was actually there when I got there. This is a guy who is just a legend at Berklee College of Music. And he's joining us from Boston. So, Damian, thanks so much for being here. And please take it away and tell us what's on your mind.
Thanks so much, Stephen. What a great presentation. It's so exciting to see our new students and how engaged they are in the program and what they're getting out of this program. It's just tremendous to see it. We had a really joyful experience looking at our applicants last year and putting this class together. And I can tell you, it's a world-class group of aspiring artists. And I'm sure you can tell by now that this program is very pragmatic and career-focused. And it really is a launch pad to a new career for our students, or perhaps even an enhanced career for those who are already working in the industry. As Stephen had mentioned earlier, there is 2 deadlines for this program. One is November 1st. This is what we call our early action deadline. And you're encouraged to use this deadline if you feel you're confident that this is the program for you. One advantage to the early action deadline is there's a reduction in the application fee from $150 to $75. And we often see many of the students that are admitted early action matriculate to the program. So I encourage you to look at the November 1st deadline. When you're putting your application together, put some serious thought and preparation into your portfolio. Because as we screen your application, that's the main focus of what we're looking at before you take the next step to have an in-person interview with the program director. So make sure that you put a lot of thought and preparation into your portfolio. There's a lot of excellent detail on the Berklee NYC website that talks in detail about what's required in each portfolio for each track. And you can also ask questions on the fly. We have a bot that will use our FAQs to respond to common questions that our applicants have. So I'm very excited to see this new group of applicants for fall 22. We're on such a strong track to bring the world this incredible new group of artists. And I'm excited to see it develop over the years. So thank you, Stephen, for having me spend a little time with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Damian. It's really appreciate it. And we are going to be opening it up for questions here in just a minute. But I first want to introduce 2 more people. The first of which is joining us from Canada, our Director of Education, Mr. Arjun Roy. Arjun, take it away, sir.
Thank you, Stephen. My goodness, it's so great to see all of you. Not only the team, but also the students and everyone watching live. We've been answering a lot of questions in the live chat, and we're going to keep doing so. I can only echo everyone's sentiments in saying that I've been so excited and inspired to welcome this current cohort of students on site. It's really amazing to have their presence, their perspectives, and creativity inhabiting all the spaces in the facility, writing, performing, and collaborating in so many new and inspired ways. I know we have a couple of things to get to and a couple of great folks to still meet. So I'm going to wrap it up. But thank you all for joining us here. Please keep asking questions. Type them in the group chat. Reach out further if you've started an application and let us know how we can help you. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Arjun. And I want to introduce one more person, and then we're going to take a few questions. Glenn is going to give us some questions from the chat. But first, I want to introduce someone who has just become such an integral part of the campus here. And again, I couldn't imagine doing this without her. Harley Seeger. Harley, welcome. And tell us a little bit about yourself and also about what you do here.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so happy to be here and virtually with all of our new friends. Yes, I'm Harley Seeger. I'm the Student Services and Career Programmer here on campus. So the best way to sort of sum up my role is that outside of the classroom, it kind of goes through me, whether that's campus programming, getting our students set up with resources through international student services, health and wellness, counseling services, as well as working with our Career Center team in Boston. And it's such a wonderful opportunity. I'm really getting to know these students and really what their long-term goals are, anywhere from career goals and also advocacy, mental health, all the aspects that make them full-fledged humans and artists and really important people to be going into this industry. And as everyone has said, having students actually on campus feels like a holiday, feels like something we've been waiting for so long and working towards and building towards. So every day that we show up and they're actually here in the flesh and we get to interact with them and continue to develop this campus and this program around them is such a joy.
Thank you so much. So we have a little bit of time for questions. So Glenn, do you want to throw some questions out that you've been looking at?
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody, thank you for putting your questions in the chat. I'll go with the one that we just had most recently, and it's a question related to housing. So do most students find roommates within the school to figure out housing, and are there any resources to help?
Yes, I can definitely tackle that question. So you can check on our website. We don't offer on-campus housing. We are a master's program, so most people are looking to live a full life both on and off campus. So we do have some resources online connected to student housing or real estate apps, realtors directly. We do a lot of help with our students both before and after they're on campus, whether that's connecting them directly to a realtor or doing different programming. I'll usually do one kind of after the application period in May, and then again before students arrive on campus, talking about moving to New York, talking about finding housing, thinking about budgeting and commutes and all of those different elements. So although we don't have dorms here, we do have a lot of resources, and I work directly with students. For roommates, I actually do have a survey, a living situation survey, which covers anything from are you looking to room with other Berklee NYC students, what budget are you looking for, what neighborhood are you looking for, and I get to compile all this information and help connect students to each other. We do have a lot of students living together, actually. I know there's one apartment that it's like four of our male identifying students. That sounds like a frat house. And we have tons of students living together, living walking distance from the campus or living as far as Brooklyn and Queens. So yes, we have a ton of resources, and I work one-on-one with students that are looking for direct support and then offering different programming and help along the way.
That's great. Thank you. Yeah, Glenn.
We've got a question coming in from Taja, and Taja is asking, how can I be sure that I'm cut out for the songwriting and production? Because I write songs in my bedroom, but that's about it. I started playing the guitar, but I have not gotten far at all.
Okay.
Well, thank you. So it was Taja. Thanks for that question. I always think if you're writing every day, you are doing better than most songwriters. In this, we have some students here who didn't have a lot of experience even opening a DAW yet. And I will say that it will be very intensive because, this is a master's program. We want to get you up to speed. So you're running with the skills we're learning in classes. What I would recommend doing in this time is picking one DAW, Ableton, Logic, Pro Tools, and doing some digging into that DAW so that you can have some facility to start putting your ideas into reality when you get here. But if you have really, really good songs and you are hardworking and ready to learn the technical aspects of production, I think that we would love to have you apply. Anyone have anything to add to that?
I would just say, yeah, if you're writing every day, I would say, a big part of your application is going to be your portfolio. So I would encourage you to record your songs however you can, on a DAW or otherwise, even on a phone. It's a really good idea, I think, to demo what you write anyway, and so you can listen to it, you can share it with other people, you can get some input. But yeah, I would encourage you, if you're writing in your bedroom, that's where a lot of people started, and
Billie Eilish and Phineas
Billie
out there.
Eilish and Phineas made the #1 record in their bedroom. That's not necessarily something that's going to hold you back, but I would just encourage you to keep writing. The more you write, the better you're going to get. And I would say you're right. If you're writing every day, you might be right for this program.
Mm-hmm.
Other questions?
So in regards to the portfolio, we do have a few common questions that also center around that. So I'll go ahead and mention the one from Brad. He says, "Hi, I was wondering if you could go into some specifics about the portfolio requirements for the songwriting and production track. But I'm sure that would be nice for everybody to hear what the other production tracks would look like as well."
Sure. Yeah. So, do you want to talk about the portfolio, or would you like me to, for songwriting and production? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Go for it, and I'll chime in if.
Basically, we want to see what you've been writing. We want to see what you've got. So I think we want to see at least 3 songs, I believe. And we want to know exactly what you did on those recordings. So we would like for you to turn in some recordings that you've done, some demos you've made, or records. We have a lot of students in the program that already have a lot of records out. And we want to know not just don't just send us the piece, but also tell us very specifically. I wrote the words, I wrote the music, I did the programming, I did the vocal production, I sang on this, I mixed it, I played the bass and the guitar. We want to know very much in detail what was your piece of this and what did you do. And then we also want to get to know you as a person, and there'll be some questions that you answer. We want to know, how you're thinking of yourself and what your career goals are and things like that. Do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, that's great. And we do really pore over these portfolios and frankly love checking out the things you submit. So yeah, even if it's not a perfectly mastered released song, that's okay. We can hear what you're doing, and as Steven said, we really love to know exactly what you did on the song, and about you as a person too.
Right. And shall we talk about the other programs as well, the portfolios for those? Do you want to go first, Gleb?
Yeah, sure. The live experience design portfolio is it's a little tough because there's so many different types of people that we're looking for, and so many, and you might even have a skill that we didn't even know we needed, and we want to really encourage those people to apply. And so what we're looking for in live experience design is for you to show who you are and what you do, and show mastery in something, and really advocate for why that's important in live experiences. And so some really successful portfolios in the past have shown some animation and have been a really good just portfolio of the students' animation, and then really expressed passion of how that could be part of the screens and could inspire the lighting in an event. I've had other applicants who did show video of the lighting design they've done. It's really about understanding who you are as a person and really coming across with your passion, and that's really kind of what we want to build this together. And so the portfolio is the most important part. Really think it through. One thing that really helps is just crafting a video of your portfolio, particularly for my program, for LED. If you can show in your presentation of your portfolio that you can edit a video well, that you can pay attention to the sound, that you can craft something that really expresses yourself and your idea, that goes really far. And I would really recommend taking advantage of that opportunity to make a video portfolio and to show yourself off that way and to express yourself that way. Every student here on campus is going to have by the end of this program video editing skills, music skills, or sound skills to craft their promotional materials and create the content they create. So start working on that now and make us a really beautiful video portfolio.
That's great. And Julianne, what about writing and design for musical theater?
Yes, I think for the things that we're looking for in this application are really about what we want to know you as an artist. What is inspiring you? What stories do you want to tell? I think that's a real important piece of it. In addition to that, the portfolio does not have to be musical theater. I cannot stress that enough. You do not have to have examples of musical theater in there. Just whatever it is that you're writing, the best examples of your work, the best examples of your artistic voice, that's what we're interested in. So don't feel like you already have to, like I said earlier, you don't have to have that experience in musical theater. You just have the desire to want to tell stories with music and words now. So I think it's just that what you feel is your strongest work, what represents you and speaks to your artistic voice. That's the most important thing.
That's great. Thank you. So I think we have time for maybe one more question. So Glenn, what do we got?
Sure. We've got one from Jordan Brown. He says, "Hi, everyone. My name is Jordan Brown. I'm a DJ and aspiring music producer, live event production student in Southern California. Is there a track where I'd be able to infuse both skills?"
There's a good question. Gee.
Come over here, Jordan. Let's bring it. So one thing that's really great to know about this school is that we have a really, really fundamental love and appreciation for DJs, and we have a DJ lab. We have an amazing DJ as a leader here, and so yes, my program, the LED program, would be a fantastic place for you to grow as a performer and a DJ. In fact, we have numerous DJs in our program, but maybe not just this program. So we also have a couple fantastic DJs in the songwriting and production department that are expanding their skills there and learning to love it. And so, yeah, that's one of these core skills that every student can explore and then connect and collaborate with. So.
And just to add, we also have 2 amazing electives, a DJ lab elective, a hip hop production, and Steven has an incredible ensemble I won't speak on it for you, but involves a lot of very, very creative turntablism and putting that together in a very innovative and creative way with other musicians.
Yeah. Back in the 90s, I really got into turntablism and underground hip hop, and wound up writing a book called Turntable Technique, The Art of the DJ, and a couple other books, and writing a lot of pieces incorporating DJing into orchestral work and all that kind of stuff. And I always felt like obviously DJing, electronic music festivals, and all the like, everything from hip hop, EDM, you name it, is such an important part of the music of our day. And Berklee was founded in 1945 not to study jazz, but to teach musicality through the music of the day. And it just happened to be that popular music at that point was swing and jazz. But because it was founded on this concept that you could teach musicality through the music of the day, that means that it was the first school to embrace rock in the 60s and the 70s. Berklee is the first school ever to to where you could major in electric guitar and electric bass and synthesizers. And we were also the first school really to embrace turntablism and DJing as part of the curriculum as well. So yes, I would say that, you know, in terms of that question, you're in luck. This is probably the place where DJing is looked at as part of the whole community.
We do a concert every Friday night. Or Friday during the day. The last week, the opener for that was a fantastic 6-minute dubstep performance with synchronized lights and synchronized video for the whole thing. And everyone in the room was on their feet. There was haze in the room. The videos look amazing, right? This is where we start. I'm just excited to see where we end up with that.
Yeah. That's every Friday. We have a concert every single Friday, which is really awesome. And actually, that reminds me, we actually need to wrap this up because we have the concert coming up very shortly. So tell you what, let me just go around to everybody to give one last word. The folks that we have here here with us, give us one more word on just what it is that you hope your students are going to take away from your program, or whatever it is that you're contributing to the campus. And tell you what, Harley, let's start with you.
Amazing, on the spot.
Yes.
I mean, I think the biggest thing I hope that our students take away, both those coming in and going, and is the sense of community that we have here, the sense that everyone is here building each other up, supporting each other, looking to collaborate and grow together.
Great. Marilee?
My hope is that students come, and when they have an idea that must be expressed to the world, they have the confidence to deliver that idea from start to finish. And I think that is a tremendous gift to the world, and that they're doing that in a collaborative setting, and being very open to new ideas and where their music can go.
Great, fantastic. And Julianne?
I hope that the students leave this program with the idea that they have all the skills that they need to be able to tell their stories, and also just have the confidence that what they are doing in the world is going to be heard and that it's important. And I think everybody is just ready for change, and I want everyone to be thinking about what that means, and that we're not just trying to do the same thing over and over again, but that we're really trying to find a new frontier, so to speak, out there for musical theater.
Yeah, bravo. And Loudon?
I hope my students walk away having created a masterpiece that they're incredibly passionate about, and they have a document of it that they can present to future employers and to future collaborators that will set them on a path for the rest of their life.
That's fabulous. That's fabulous. Well, thank you all for being a part of this, and to the students and the faculty who joined us. Thank you to Damian Bracken and to Arjun Roy. And I think Will Wells, I know I've been texting with him. The program director for songwriting and production has been active in the chat as well, which is just awesome. Once again, the deadline for early action is November 1st. Get your applications in by then to be considered for early action. We hope this has been enlightening in terms of what it is that's going on here at Berklee NYC. Berklee's new campus here in New York, and we look forward to meeting many of you. So thank you for tuning in. Thank everybody here, and we'll see you soon.